Hey gang, AV here. Welcome to my review of the Boss Fight Studios Vitruvian Hacks Series 1 Medusa version 2 from the ancient Greek line. Here she is in the packaging. The packaging is collector friendly, which is just sealed with these plastic tabs here. You just bend them back, slide the card out, and you can gain access to the figure. She is perfectly visible through the plastic bubble on the card itself. You can see she has her accessories there in a bag. Let's flip her over, where you have a file card, which is roughly about the same size as a G.I. Joe file card. Here's the cross-sell for the other figures that were also available at the time of her release. And speaking of the file card, if you'd like to read it, feel free to pause the video and do so now. All right, I've said it before, I'll say it a million times. I'm a huge fan of the fact that they include that. It helps flesh out the character, gives her some context. Very cool, very good stuff. Always pleased to see when a company does that. I already have one out of the packaging, and here she is. But before we have a look at her, we're gonna have a look at her accessories, which were namely a figure stand, which is ironic because she doesn't have feet. So she can't use these two foot pegs on the figure stand, but it's nice that they include it so that you can use it for other figures. She also has two alternate hands, which, if this is the first boss fight figure that review of mine that you've seen, this may come as a surprise to you, but all their figures usually have 2 points of articulation at the wrist. So the set on the figure actually bend up and down. And then they give you an alternate set which bend in and out. So depending on what weapons you want to give them, you have the appropriate articulation so that they can hold it properly, which is fantastic. Now, as far as other accessories she comes with, she has her whip, which has a snake head on the handle there, some painted leather for the actual handle itself, and a skeleton vertebrae type look all the way down to the tip. It is made of a very pliable, rubbery plastic. However, it's not going to hold a shape that you put it in. It's not like a wired piece or anything like that. It's just very forgiving if you wanted to flop it around or whatnot. She also comes with a knife, which you can actually put into her her waist there. There's a slot to store that. The knife also has a snake head. I'm trying to get my camera to focus on the hilt there. Leather wrapped handle, and again the same vertebrae deco there for the blade itself. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's have a look at the figure close up. Pretty impressive looking, if I do say so myself. This is the version 2, which is a different paint scheme than the version 1. I have that off camera, which I will compare the two in a second. But I just wanted to have a look at the version 2, since this is the one that's still currently available in the Boss Fight store if you're interested. Paint scheme all along the tail as well. And of course, this is a hacks figure, so you can easily take her apart, swap body parts for other figures and whatnot. Easily done. So you can easily customize whatever you want out of these. The pieces of armor and whatnot are easily removable as well. Okay, let's go on to articulation while I have the figure in hand. Head is on a barbell peg, which means it can do a full 360. It can look down, it can look up, it can tilt from side to side. Very good range of motion there at the neck. Arms can do a full 360. They can go up very high. Nothing at the bicep, single joint at the elbow. Also pivot right there at the peg. You also hyperextend down a little too if you're interested. Wrists, do a full 360, and I just demonstrated that the set on the figure actually pivot down and up, whereas the alternate set would bend in and out. She has a ball joint here at the top of the rib cage, or at the bottom of the rib cage, excuse me, which gives a very good range of motion there. She also has a ball joint at the bottom of her abs, which give a very good range of motion there as well. The tail is segmented, can be straightened out and bend in a variety of different ways. As you can see, as you saw at the beginning of the video, she can support her own weight if you curl the tail up at the base there, so she can stand freely. The tail has 8 different segments to it. But it's not limited to that because it is a Hacks figure. They do clip together, so you can actually add segments. And I mention that because my Medusa from version 1, I actually purchased 2 of, and she has significantly more segments because I added them to this figure to give her a much longer tail. Speaking of which, here is the version 1 of the figure. As you can see, the paint scheme is noticeably different on not just the figure skin tone, but the hair as well as the outfit she's wearing as well. The accessories look to be the same, except for the leather straps are painted brown on the original, whereas they're painted black on the second version. I like both versions of these equally, quite frankly. I think they both look great. I just wanted the pale-skinned version, I guess you'd say, mostly for customs and different types of displays I planned on making. But I think they both look great, and I think either one would look great in your collection. Let's do some size comparison now. Obviously, she's going to be considerably longer than most of your 1/18 scale figures. So we're just going to stand her up on her tail. And pose her next to other 1/18 scale figures that way. So here she is next to a vintage G.I. Joe figure. Scales very well with him. A vintage collection modern Star Wars figure. Here she is next to a more modern G.I. Joe 4-inch variety. Dollar General Cobra Trooper. And here she is with a Marvel Universe Captain America figure. As you can see, she scales in excellently with every toy line in this particular scale because of the tail. Obviously, her height is very forgivable and adjustable. So, anyway, this has been my review of the Boss Fight Studios Vitruvian Hacks Medusa version 2 from Series 1. I think she's a great figure. I do believe she's still available in the Boss Fight store. I do recommend that you purchase 2 if you're interested, because not only can you increase the size of the tail, but she comes with pretty cool pieces of armor that you can use on other figures for customs, and not to mention a second Medusa head that you can pose with a custom Perseus if you decide to make one, which I actually have done myself in the other room. So anyhow, this has been AV. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, check out my channel. If you like what you see there, then please subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.